Hello, how are you? Are we doing something a little bit differently today? Absolutely, yes. This is the Our Souls Journey podcast YouTube channel, and welcome in, guys. It is so nice to meet you. My name is Lola. I am actually the creator and the host of Our Souls Journey podcast. It is a podcast where we discuss how to live a more soul-led life and embracing your own true, unique spiritual journey. It stems from my life experience. I've actually been in the spiritual community for about 10 years, and that's what my podcast talks about. It's a great little community. I love everyone who's watching it. We're still growing, and one day we're going to have an amazing community. So if that podcast sounds like something you'd love to go ahead and see, go ahead, check it out. I'll leave it up right here for you. It's honestly such a passion project of mine. I've wanted to create a podcast for a long time, and this is the direction I'm choosing to go with it at. We are doing something a little different today. Today, we are talking about a career crisis I had this past week in my early 20s. This is not going to be a podcast episode. In fact, this is going to be just a regular YouTube video, and we're going to see what I think about it, how I feel about it, and the overall vibes of it all. I guess you could say. Last week on my podcast, I actually did an episode on being invalidated in our early 20s. So many times, I think we become pulled by our intuition, our passion, love, not necessarily romantic, just the feeling of unconditional love. It pulls us and it attracts us to things that I believe are a part of our soul's journey on this earth. And it is going to be different for everyone. And I can't tell you what that is specifically when you're not sitting in front of me and we're not having a conversation. But everyone's life is going to be so different. And that's what makes each and every one of our journeys so unique. What's the video going to be about today? It is going to be about a career crisis I had last week while I was watching a tarot reading that my guides have been putting in my YouTube algorithm for I think a couple weeks prior. I'm going to make a whole video, probably on my podcast, about the algorithm, spiritual content videos, and do you believe it? Do you not believe it? What are we thinking when it comes to this video is meant for you? Please claim, like, share. Never ever do that on my content. You do not ever have to fucking like for the video to apply to you, to receive its energy. No, you, no. But I will say, if you do like my vibe, if you do think this is a place where it resonates for you and this is a community you can kind of see yourself in, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, comment, what's your name? Hi, my name's Lola. It's so nice to meet you. I'm actually from Texas. That's why I have a Texas accent. I hide it in most of my videos and in my day-to-day because I'm not embarrassed of it. I hate people making fun of me for it. Let's talk about this career crisis. So, uh, let's get a little bit of background on me without going too much into what I do specifically. I work in the food service industry. I actually work in a restaurant. It is great. I worked in a restaurant prior to this, and that building was cursed. So happy to work in a restaurant that's been blessed, and you can truly feel that great, pure energy, I guess you could say. Maybe not pure, but just overall positive energy from the person who blessed it. I think our guests can feel it, and I think it just overall has a better vibe to it. And that's where I work now. I've been there for a few months, and important because everyone talks about career crisis. Not everyone talks about the spiritual and intuitive feelings you get and doubting yourself when it comes to it. So, where did this all come from? Last week, I'm watching the beautiful Shano's Divine Tarot. I've mentioned before in my podcast, I mention it every episode. I've been in this space for almost 10 years now. I've seen so many creators come and go in this space. I have seen creators that I just no longer vibe with. I've seen creators that I feel like I've seen so much of their lives. There are literally creators in this space that I have seen literally see their self-development journey, their relationship journey, their motherhood, and now their motherhood journey. Like, I feel like I've seen all of that. And I mean, like, that's how long I've been in this space. So, Miss Shanetta over here, she is a beautiful soul. She is truly such a beautiful example of what divine femininity feels like. We all have a bit of divine feminine and divine masculine within us. There's no doubt about that. She, without doing it on purpose, I don't know, without, I don't know if she knows she was doing it in her videos, but she was literally like a spiritual teacher to me in my early days of finding spirituality and even knowing just a little bit about her journey. She taught me so much, and I still watch her. Nothing but beautiful and kind words to that woman. I'm so grateful she is in this space. I'm so grateful that she's been in this space as long as I've been in this space, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I am so appreciative that she has a space on the internet, truly. I'm feeling pulled to watch this tarot video that's been in my YouTube algorithm for a couple weeks now, and that's not new. It's definitely happened before where a video sits in my algorithm and I don't watch it for a while because I feel like if it stays, that means I'm supposed to watch it. And what did you know? It stayed. And that's when I knew. So I'm like, okay, what is this timeless message that Miss Shanetta has for me? And I forget what the whole reading was about. It was all very applicable. It was all about moving forward on your intuition. Well, maybe not all of the video, but that was part of the theme that was going on. And so she somehow it was brought up acting on something that you wanted to do, acting on your passions, like Queen of Wands energy. Like it's not just Ace of Wands, it's Queen of Wands. Like, this is something you know is gonna pan out for you. Like, it's so deep of an intuitive feeling that you know that this is not just a hobby you might like. Like, this is definitely business opportunity. It's incredibly passionate action. And so I was like, oh, well, it had I think briefly crossed my mind 2 weeks ago thinking about yoga. And I was like, I don't know. That's kind of a last year idea because it was something I thought about last year. And I watched the video and I was like, oh, we are talking about wanting to become a yoga instructor. So let's rewind here. Last year, I'm working a sales job. I'd already invested some amount of money into a tarot certification program. Have I finished the program? No. I bought the program because I wanted to learn tarot from a professional because I was doing professional readings and felt as though getting some sort of professional baseline for card meetings. And because I invested in that, I ended up telling myself I cannot invest in this. And that was a yoga instructing certificate. They are not cheap. They're definitely more of an investment, and it's something that, frankly, I really wanted. Last year, I'd argue I was even more intuitively attached to wanting to become a yoga instructor. In watching that video, I was reminded of that feeling, that inspired action, and it has come up yet again. But now I'm in a different spot. I'm in a consistently busy job, which means I am consistently making money. I'm going to tell you guys something, and I mean it with all the love and support, but if you are very, very good at your sales job and you are still not making money, you need to leave. And I'm just going to leave it there. So I move on. I end up leaving because I need to invest in my business. I need consistent pay, and came back into food service industry, and that is where I still am. And I'm blessed to be every day. I feel like I go into work and I'm reminded, wow, like I'm literally living the prayer I prayed for. I'm thinking about this certification now, and I'm like, well, Spirit has put me in a position where this is something that I am capable of doing, but it's another new start in a career. So do I do it? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I feel like all I've done for the past 5 years has job hop. I left this job because I wasn't making money, and I left that job because it wasn't aligned with my values, and I left this job because I didn't feel safe at work, and I left this job because it just wasn't something I liked, and I left this job because blah 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 blah. I actually understand why it's a red flag for employers, but I think it's even more of a red flag to just have an employee sit there and do whatever you tell them to do. So this is where that crisis that I'm talking about comes in. It's not just the potential to change and transition careers in my life. It's a combination of, yeah, a transition in my career on top of the business I'm starting and the podcast I have going. It's another solo adventure into the job world, but it's also an intuitive and soul-led pull. I may not be as attached to wanting to teach yoga, but I think it is something I'd still love to do. I do still feel pulled to it intuitively and with my soul. And that's the crisis that I feel like I'm in, and so many people my age and younger and maybe older or whoever, but I'm in my early 20s. I feel like we don't talk about this. Being pulled intuitively to a brand new fucking career in your early 20s when you feel like every time you finally build something up, sands shift and you have to restart. You know what my attitude is? This is exactly what our early 20s are for. Creating and working a job that brings us excitement. And I feel like, isn't that what our early 20s should be about? And if I'm being honest, I really haven't changed careers all that much in my early 20s. I've definitely changed restaurants. I've had to change restaurants because I moved, because I went to school, because I left. I completely understand why so many people my age get so nervous, and it stresses us out because it feels like everything we do, we have to document on a resume. And then when we're in an interview, all we feel is someone judging us about our life choices and drilling it into us. Which, by the way, if you ever go to a job interview and you feel like the person interviewing you is giving you criticism or negative judgment towards any of your past job experiences, that is unprofessional and not normal. That doesn't happen. Leave. Say that that position is no longer for you. Um, and do it very professionally and let it go and keep trying. There's going to be so many other times, I am sure, in my mid 20s, because I'm 23 right now, that I am going to feel an intuitive pull towards something career wise. I've already had it with my life coaching program. I've had it with my podcast. It is something I want to create that's could be bigger for sure. And that's where I want it. This space in the internet is a space where I want people who love spirituality, who are interested in it, who've been in it for 20 years, 10 years, no years, or just finding it on my channel. I want to welcome people into this space. And being intuitively pulled towards a brand new career in our early 20s is not something we should ever really be that scared of. It took me a few hours, I think, to really digest the fact that I feel intuitively pulled to this. My soul wants to do it. I think it fits in line with what my business is doing. I talk a lot about eating disorder content on my channel because that's part of what my niche in my life coaching program is for, is people transforming out of their eating disorder. I've had an eating disorder. I've had multiple eating disorders, so this is not new for me. I've experienced it, and I experienced it for a very long time. Learning a skill set that involves healing your body energetically through movement is not far off of what I think matches me and what I want to create and put out into this world. What did I do after those 3 hours? Well, I made a plan. I didn't make a SMART goal yet, but I made a plan. And let me talk you through it. Oh no, I'm scared. I want to do yoga. I want to teach yoga. Oh my God, but what will people think? Oh my God, but what about my finances and my time commitment and my time management? I'm already spread so thin. I already work so many shifts at work, and what about the future? I have to make sure that my certificate pays off, and some yoga teachers don't make any money, and I'm not in it for the money, but I do need to be able to support myself. And don't worry, I had all of those thoughts come through my head too. And you know what? It's normal. Our early 20s aren't supposed to be easy. We're just becoming adults out into the real world. Adults. Some of us did have life experiences where we feel as though we matured faster and took on more responsibilities than we maybe should have when we were younger. And so we don't necessarily feel like the shock of being in the real world. It doesn't mean we won't run into moments of being unsure. So, what was my plan I made? Because clearly I'm very level headed and steady about this decision. Well, I had to think of how I'd be committing to this career transition. It's a financial commitment because yoga teaching certificates are not cheap, and that's just a certificate. If a gym needs more than just a certificate, that's also an investment, right? So there's a financial investment into this, and there's a time investment into this because you don't just go in and do a 4-hour seminar and you get your yoga instructing certificate. We take those two things into consideration and we plan forward. Well, I know I can pick up some extra shifts at work for a while to help pay this off. And I'm not saying everyone's going to be able to do that, but that is what I'm able to do. That's within my control. We want to think about what's within our control when we're committing to something new in a career transition. The more that's in our control, the more we can do about it. You don't have to push for things to be in your control, but you do need to recognize what's already within your control and plan with that in mind. So, we got the financial part down. Well, what time commitments do I have? I have my day job, which is a restaurant. I have my life coaching, which takes up about 2 days of my time, and my podcast, which takes up a few hours of my time each week. So I use my calendar, I plan accordingly. I'd be shocked if I was being intuitively pulled to make a financial investment in time commit and large time commitment, might I add, because this is going to be at least, a few hours each week, more preferably so I can get it done sooner rather than later. Clearly, this was something that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to be reminded of this intuitive pull I felt last year to come up again this year. It broke my heart when I felt I wasn't going to be able to do it, but now I feel like it's something I not only should do, but need to do for other reasons, of which I will talk about in a few months. Look, if you are going through this, I want to be your intuitive validation. Okay. What you are feeling, totally normal. First of all, you're a rock star for recognizing your intuition. Second of all, if you don't act on your intuition, so many results, so many things can happen because of that. But I want to focus on one thing that's really important, and that's you living your soul led life. I talk about this in my podcast every fucking time. Your life isn't going to necessarily become more miserable because you don't follow your intuition, but your soul is going to be very confused. Your soul operates within you. You know what's best for you. You are an incredibly strong person and you have so much potential, whether you are in your early 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whether you're 15 years old or 9 years old, like every single person on this planet has so much potential. And choosing to not listen to your intuition is not going to give you the life that resonates with you the most. We all want a life that feels good, that feels like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. Following your intuition into this career transition, wherever you may be, is going to be, but it's going to be big. And you owe it to yourself to follow through because you would not be pulled in this direction if it weren't for your highest good, if it wasn't going to make you happy, if it wasn't going to provide you with some amount of opportunity. I know you can do it. And that is what I talk about all the time is intuition. I don't think many people in their early 20s think about it too much now. I think we see all the woo-woo stuff, but we don't really think to intentionally add that into our lives following our intuition. So this was my career crisis, intuitively led career crisis, I guess you could say. And this is what I did about it. And I will keep you updated and I will walk you through my journey with it. I'm excited and I really want you to remember that if I can do it, you can do it. Let me be your example with my yoga instructing journey. So, yeah, go check out the podcast. It's a great little community. It's Our Soul's Journey. You can actually listen to it on Spotify as well. It's not just on YouTube. That's what I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Get the word out. I love this little area of the internet, and I'm so happy you're a part of it. It was nice meeting you. And until next time, have a great day.